All right, I'm back. Second session of London. Just had to get something to eat while we wait for price to develop further. It's 8 a.m. Well, it's 1 minute to. In front of me, you got the currency futures triad. I mean, if I'm looking to get this short, you would need another bar to form, and then we'd need something to pull up into this gap here. Let me just draw out what I'm talking about. Right, price pull up into this, and then take out further. None of the assets are taken previous 50 equilibrium, previous day's range. Okay, so you can see we're resting above that. All assets have run below Asia low as well, so we're taking out that liquidity pool. We are in a Q standard deviation, right? And it is time for reversal. I do think price is going to draw a bit lower. Could see 6S get up here, but we trade what we see, not what we think. Okay, so let's mark out the low. 1 hour low. Open, low, high, close. I don't like anything that's going on with the index futures triad. Let's have a little look. Oh, I don't know what's wrong with my chat, man. Okay, right, yeah, the chat's working again. Don't know why that went off then. Drop down to the 1M. Let's see what we're working with here. Break. No microcycle. Next microcycle will be at 8 past 8, I think. That'll be the fresh one. So well, it's a waiting game anyway. See what happens now. The micro's been invalidated. All assets have run below the low. Single leg expansion anyway, so it'd be nice to see price form another liquidity pool, sell side liquidity pool to fuel the move. So we got 22 minutes after that. Yeah, so 808, 807. There'll be a fresh micro. Just have to be aware when we're taking long, if we're trying to look for price where it's getting closer to the 15-minute. Often if we haven't made the move already, it will sweep the low again in a buy scenario. Sorry, my nose is still not healed properly. It's going to take another. I get tingly sensations in it. It goes numb. I had a nose operation. Okay, so we're seeing price move up. I've wicked the low here. No micro. What does this indicate though? Wick below, close above, right? 50%. Was that the first candle that broke? No, second candle. Got no micro there. Let's have a little look what's going on here. Not quite deep enough into that volume weighted average price. I'd like to see price get down here before I start taking a long, or looking for a long even. And that being said, for a short as well, I'd like to see price either take, well, some liquidity above this high here probably. That would be the previous 1 hour bar. What have we got there? Wick below, wick below. All the assets are wick below, right? So yeah, I want to see something up here, and then we, at least if we don't take this high, if we're going to scalp this back down into this level. I think after the trade I took yesterday, I got out for a small win. Well, it's like break even-ish. I should have played the long in here. So this was the model yesterday, inversion, 15-second inversion, try and take out some of this liquidity. But what I didn't realise, what I didn't look for is this model here, this inversion back up here, right, back up, and this would have probably been to take out these equals here, green line, probably target. But if you remember early in the session, I said that we'd expanded above Asia, all assets were doing the same, right? So we're looking for a 50 below the equilibrium of Asia to target the previous day's high. So we could have traded it up to there with that in mind. And there was a 15-second inversion in there as well. But I was waiting for more liquidity, but it built liquidity here, then swept, and then we went up. So, but I had a alert set for down here, that's why I didn't see it. My own fault, really. Okay, so we're not deep enough into this for me to kind of warrant a long here. We haven't really rebalanced price. So let's see if we can get up above these highs and then maybe get an inversion. Alright, 808, and let's see if we can get another microcycle. Equals built up there. Make sure I'm on the execution there. So we're quite close to this low here. Even if I got a PSP, I'd be waiting for more confirmation. So the inversion probably. You know, I'd want that asset to be swept before I take a position here. Just got to protect myself You know, if old highs and old lows are going to be draws of liquidity, taking a position here just to resting above an old high, old low, sorry. You know, you're inviting risk. The probability is that something might happen like that, and then it will turn around, right? Accumulation, manipulation, distribution. So if I'm looking to take this, it'd be nice to see an inversion here. Get this price inverted above this level, right? Then come back into this, right, with a confirmation to go up. And why am I waiting for confirmation and not just putting an order in? Because if you look here, what's this? Just built liquidity. So that's resting liquidity there. So if we do get this expansion inversion, we could come back into 50% of this here, right? Balanced price range, whatever it leaves behind for us to be able to take a trade is great. Numbness in my nose is horrendous. Yeah, so that's what I'll be looking for. Let's see what happens here. Go on ES. Oh my God. I mean, if that was down at the blue line, then we could take that inversion there. We're not quite into 50% there, are we? No. No, for some reason I'm dropping frames. I'll have to sort that out after. I don't know what's going on with that. Why is it dropping frames now? It didn't in the last session. All efficient price action here, right? It's sufficient. We've got liquidity above that. So my thinking is that would be nice to take that liquidity above. Du, 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 du. If we've got all efficient price action like that as well, it's, you know, with liquidity built both sides, I'm not really liking it, you know. So there's no gap inefficiency here. There's got liquidity both sides here, and you've got no efficiency to take that off. So that's not for me. I'll wait for some inversion up here, then maybe we can get in down here. We can do something like that. Track on the 15-minute. See what happens here. New 15-minute bar. First quarter is open, high, low, close, right? So if we wick above now, right in the first quarter, where are we going? We're going to lower. Not the long that I'd expected, and we're not in discount. Not really liking this, to be honest. There's a lot of confluences that are stacking against the trade for me for looking for longs, that is. Yeah, that's efficient there. Little gap, feel. Didn't take the high over there. I'm going to see how that bar closes there on ES. I think we're just going to push down here now. You know, we've built up liquidity here and here. Not trying to take a long off of that. And you see why I'm getting to why I'm looking at price like that, right? You know, no inefficiency here. Okay, so we could enter this, but then what have we built up here? Right, loads of liquidity resting below there. Just a massive. So, you know, more likely price is going to come and take that. I'm not happy taking that there. It's not clean, and it's not an A+ setup, that's for sure. Okay, I think I'm going to pass on this. Set an alert for equilibrium of the previous day's range on 6S. It's going to be a key level to draw to, but also you can fade the mood off of that as well. We're just seeing price tumble now for some reason over there. That is just drawing to that level. You might see this take out this level now, but then I'd need a fresh 1 hour CRT from that level anyway. It's not something I want to start taking a 15-minute, breaking down a 1 hour on a 15-minute there. We're not in any zone, standard deviation box or anything like that. Right, I think we broke there. See, yeah, so look, correct call on price there, right? We built a level here, we had liquidity here. I was waiting for the inversion, but I want to see the inversion take this level. Okay, and then we look. At the moment, we've got nothing happening. I'm not willing to take a 15-minute. I want to see price draw into this 50% level of the previous day's range. Let's have a little look what these assets are doing here. Index futures triad, right? Not all assets got above the high. Is this really going to go? No, I don't know about that. I want to see something a little bit cleaner. Rise above. Was there a 15-second inversion in that anyway? No, price was still efficient there. We have mitigated that, but yeah, we'll just wait. It's a waiting game. Right, it's 20 past 8. No scalp. I think the market's starting to, it's moving together a little bit, isn't it? You know, we're moving down. It is de-pegging, but maybe it's going to take FOMC for it to de-peg. Hopefully that might be the case, right? Liquidity comes in the market and we found what was it, last week or the week before, when NFP, yes, week before, when NFP was on it, the day of NFP, liquidity came back into the market and it started behaving normally. You know, there was clear moves, and you're seeing traders into the market risk on again on NFP, ironically. I think it is settling down though, the market. Well, last week it was at 28 or something, the VIX. Right, so volume index. Right, okay, so we're just pushing up. Also as well, another reason for me, like what was going on in my head when looking at this, if we open, we go and wick higher, we're expecting a bearish bar, okay? Right, 6S has hit the equilibrium with the previous day's range. Right, let's take away these white lines, get out the 1 hour low. Not really fussed about that anymore. Right, this gives me a little bit more confidence to take the long because we've rebalanced here. And this was the weaker asset because it's put in the failure swing. These two put in the higher high. Sorry, my mind went blank then. Yeah, failure swing, higher high. Okay, so yeah, let's see what price does around here. We have got a weekly cycle on NQ. I didn't like where it was though. Excuse me. We've filled that inefficiency as well, right? So where's the next inefficiency? Holds above the candle's high. Right, because you've got to see it from both sides when you're looking at scalping the market like this, right? This is balanced equilibrium here. We have got an inversion above this old high as well. But we're moving up. So yeah, I'm not too confident either way, to be honest. I think we've mitigated the level here. Didn't give us what I want. Ideally, I want to be a buyer in this level or a buyer up or a seller up here. Sorry, not in the middle. On the scalping model, that is, by the way. By the looks of things, things are starting to depeg. If you see NQ is pushing up, as long as this doesn't catch up, we could see price depeg today. Because at the moment they've been pegged for the last 2 days. So if it depegs, then the VIX goes down a bit further, yeah, we're laughing. Yeah, massive. I remember what I said as well. If we're trade looking at these bars, right? Bearish close below, change of state of delivery, right? What am I expecting next? Bearish bar. Yes, we can look at the wicks, wick below, close above 50%, or if we're, do you know what I mean? If we're in line with a higher time frame, daily, 6 hour, weekly, whatever that may be. But as a rule of thumb, if I have a bearish close or a bullish close, the next bar I'm predicting that is going to be bullish or the same bar as before, right? And that's why we're constantly looking at closes below old lows and closes above old highs. See that rebalance of price. At the moment we're in no man's land here. We need the next 6 hour to come out, something like that. That comes out 10 a.m. GMT. Need another sell side liquidity to be taken, sell side liquidity to be formed. That's annoying. I'm seeing ES drop off now. Didn't get no 15-second inversion though, that's the problem. There's all efficient price action here. Same thing again, right? Maybe if we took this higher, we could look for this inversion here, but it's what it is. Let's wait for price to get down here for buyers. If we have got a weekly cycle. Excuse me. We have got a weekly cycle on index futures. We took the previous 1 hour range. We took the 1 hour range low, right? So all assets wick below. So we'd have to wait for 15%, but then we went and took the high. Now we're wicking below. So if you see the last 4 15-minute bars, we're in a bit of a range here. We are seeing a little bit of D-peg. We're seeing the FX triad move down and the index triad continue up. It's a good sign that they don't move. They do correlate. However, they do correlate together. They're like a session apart or a day apart or something like that. So, you know, normally the index market follows the FX market. So FX will move first. The same with the bond market as well, right? You know, if the bond moves up, then you'll probably find that the FX will move up after that. But like I said about the rates on Thursday and stuff like that, they're probably going to try to push price down to get a better price if they're going to enter long, because the rates are going to stay the same. That is potential. Just have a little look at that. Yeah, 12 p.m. So we've got the monetary policy. Yeah, we've got Swiss policy rates, bank rate. Price is now reacting off that equilibrium previous day's range. So but we'd still need a 1 hour CRT model to take that long. Anyway, so we'd have to wait for the next 25 minutes, 9 a.m. ES is stuck in a bit of a range. Da 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 do 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 do. ES is pushing down. Do 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 do. Not been very fortunate today. Scalp model didn't get a entry in there. Six EU's continuing to push down. We've got 20 minutes to 9 AM, so we'll just hold on. We have rebalanced price on one of the assets as well, so I'll be back in 2 seconds. Sorry about that, just had to sort out my vitamins. Do 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 do. Price seems to be stalling. The index market seems to be flat. Not a lot of movement. We've got seen at 8 AM there. Liquidity came into the FX market, that's for sure. Right, I think I'm going to pause the stream there. If 9 AM happens and we trade below the previous candles range, then yeah, potentially I'll be looking for a long on FX. I've got 15 minutes. Just gonna make myself a cup of tea.